This sucks. Can't seem to find a relationship that will last. My only hope is that my parents get back together. After my father breaks up this wedding, of course. I hope at least they can find happiness and romance. I wonder how many people are actually inside. Whoa. There's nearly 1,000 people in here. I don't even know 95% who they all are. Wait, is that a camera crew? I knew my mother was rich, but I didn't know that she was also famous as well. Nobody's gonna leave her disappointed that things didn't work out the way that they wanted them to. Let's hope it's not me, shall we? I guess I'll take a seat right in the third row. It's not the best seat in the house, but it's available. And I see a space at the end that isn't occupied. That will give me plenty of room to hightail it out of here when things go south for my dad. Which, of course, things probably will go south.
Excuse me, sir. This seat is reserved for only family members of the bride and groom only.
Yes, that's what I am, the son of the bride. I answer. That's who I am. I'm the son of the bride.
Oh, you're the son of the bride? Then, I'm sorry, sir. I won't bother you again. My name is Zinko Jason at your service. My name is Zinko at your service.
Well, thanks, Zeke. I'll be sitting now. He says to me, yes, sir, I'll be at the door. I'll wait till he's left to say something. Okay, that guy's not fooling anybody. I know he's a spy. From the first words he said to me, he just sounded like he was a spy. He's a bit British too, or maybe not British, but you know, maybe a little bit of an accent in there. And with a name like Ezekial, I wonder why he's here. I wonder why. Anyways, let me try to get through these vows. Then I'll be watching for the good stuff to unfold. And it will unfold. I've seen everyone walk down the aisle. From the flower girl to the ring bearer, from the bridesmaids to the best mans. Finally, I watch as that knuckle-headed punk, Clarence, walks down the aisle. Then 5 minutes later, my mother walks into the room and she looks stunning. Her gown is white and runs long. The whole audience is enthralled by my mother's appearance. She looks a little too good to not be married today. In any case, I can see that my father is here, and he's sitting in the back at the far end of the chapel. I hope he'll be loud enough to object.
We're gathered here today to join these two in holy matrimony.
Sure hope my father's getting ready to say what's on his mind. I'm looking at him sitting in the back. He looks like he's about to get cold feet. Come on, Dad. Come on.
If anyone finds that these two should not wed in holy matrimony, please speak now.
This is it.
Or forever.
This is the
hold
moment.
Your peace.
Why isn't he moving? Why isn't he moving? Is he not going to do anything? Wait! Wait! I have to.
Yes?
I have to use the bathroom. And then, what I did next, I left my row and I ran all the way to the back of the church. I grabbed my father's arm and I loudly whisper in his ear, Dad, what are you doing? He tells me that he's not stopping the wedding. I say, how come? We planned this for over a week now. He says to me, Leroy, you can never plan to interrupt a wedding. You just can't do it. You mean that you can't do it? Dad, I'm gonna stop this mess from even happening. I let go of my father and march down the aisleway. And I say in front of everyone watching the vows that were taking place, I object. The voice of me and someone else spoke in unison. I turn around and I see who it was. And to my surprise, it was my English teacher, Miss Megan.
Do you really think you can get rid
Judging
of me
by the
that
look
easily?
on my mom and Clarence's faces, neither of them expected for Miss Megan to show up to this wedding.
You can't marry Clarence. He's still married to me.
Megan! Megan! What are you doing here? I clearly told you not to even talk to me until after our divorce is final.
Huh, Clarence? I'm not gonna let you leave me for this tramp.
Hey, you watch what you call my mother, you two-bit teacher. I yelled to Megan. Hey, you watch what you call my mother, you two-bit teacher.
You're just a two-bit mama's boy. So
After
hush.
a bit of information that Megan said, there was a loud gasp from each side of the room. Every person there began to murmur in a frenzy. Miss Megan continued.
I spoke with you last night and you told me you were on a business trip. I said, all right, fine. Go to San Diego for a month. See if I care. Turns out the whole time you were 40 minutes away with this homewrecker that wants to... Ugh. And this whole time you've been just trying to marry her behind my back like I wouldn't find out? Really?
My mother replies, I didn't know that Clarence was married.
You're clueless. You could have seen the mark from his ring finger. He obviously has a white line where he took it off.
Hey! Don't you call her clueless, doofus!
I'm shocked. He treats me like garbage, but he treats my mother with respect somewhat. And oh no, this is just terrible. I see her looking at Clarence with a newfound admiration. Really? Thank you, my mother says to Clarence. Aww, the crowd goes.
Well, good, because I'm marrying Janice right here, right now.
This is a nightmare. My worst enemy is marrying my mother. Someone wake me up from this hell. Miss Megan is walking out of the church, and the pastor is closing the ceremony with his few questions for the bride and groom.
Okay.
Now, I guess I can proceed. Clarence, do you take this woman to be your lawfully wedded wife, to have and to hold for richer or for poorer, in sickness and in health, till death do you part?
I do.
Now, do you, Janice, take this man to be your lawfully wedded husband, to have and to hold for richer or for poorer, in sickness and in health, until death do you part? Oh, Mom, please don't do it. Don't marry Clarence. She hesitates. Now she's looking over at my dad, and my dad is just standing there staring at her like an idiot. How could he be this stupid? I'm not even gonna object anymore, because what's the point? My life is over. And then she says, I won't marry you. Wait, what? Wait, what? Yeah, okay. And he's like, you don't mean that, Janice. I do mean that. I can't marry you, Clarence. Yeah.
Why?
Is it because of Megan?
You don't have
You
to
don't
worry
have to
about
worry
her.
about her.
She means nothing to me.
Even before Megan, I had already decided I wasn't going to marry you.
Well, you've got some nerve waiting until our wedding ceremony to back out of the marriage.
I already paid for the banquet later.
So don't act like this now.
Clarence shouts, revealing his true feelings towards my mother. I paid for the banquet later, and I paid for this wedding, my mother tells Clarence. You go, Mom, I yell out loud.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I guess you did pay for everything. But maybe I wanted to pay for it and you didn't let me. You had to be the big woman on campus and go pay for everything, didn't you?
I did, Clarence. That's because you're not man enough to even offer to pay. Even if I asked you, you would have just come up with some crazy excuse as to why you didn't have the money. I could have asked for a loan. Oh, I get it. Asking for a loan is beneath you, isn't it? Isn't it, Janice?
I can't go on one day.
I can't go on
without
one
feeling
day
like I'm a Neanderthal.
without feeling like I'm some sort of Neanderthal. I don't even have to try, Clarence. You wake up out of bed every day looking like a Neanderthal. Okay. After my mom's joke on Clarence, the crowd burst out in laughter. Even some people on his side of the family started to laugh. You think this is funny?
This is funny? You all think this is funny?
Clarence yelled.
You know what? We're through. I'm calling off the wedding.
I'm calling off the wedding. Yeah, I shout in joy in the back. Yeah! Clarence now is marching back down the aisle and leaving the chapel. Later, Clarence. I mock him. Ejectocito, cut.
I'm calling off the wedding.
On his way out. Out of my way, Clarence shouts as he pushes me over slightly. The Wicked Witch is dead. Okay. I'm sorry, everyone. It would appear that the wedding has been called off, the pastor states. Suddenly, my mom asks her bridesmaids to hold the ends of her dress. Now she's running to the back as the bridesmaids are running alongside her, holding the ends of my mother's dress. She stops and looks at my dad. Jeffrey, she calls out to him. Yes, my dad answers with his eyes open wide. I have never stopped loving you, my mom says to him, while he doesn't even move. Dad, say it back to her, I tell him. Oh yeah, I never stopped loving you either. My dad finally responds to my mother. Do you want to get married? She asks him. Janice, are you asking me to marry you? Jeffrey, yes, my mother excitedly exclaims with tears in her eyes. Say yes, Dad. Please, say yes. I yell. Yes, my dad says to my mother. Now he's jumping up from his seat, running down the aisle, and taking his place on the podium. Okay, Pastor says, after seeing what has unfolded. Before we do the whole I do thing, I have a few words I would like to say to my wife. My father, Jeffrey states. Then he shouts gently at the audience, if any of you would like to leave, you can do so now. The pastor looks at my father with weariness in his eyes.
Might as well keep the wedding going, son. If Clarence's family was going to leave, they would have left by now. Let's go and keep the wedding going.
The pastor was right. Almost all of Clarence's family had stayed to watch my mother get married to another man. It appears that they are actually happy at my parents getting married to each other, even if it's at the expense of their family member, Clarence. Yeah, we're enjoying ourselves, one of the women on Clarence's side of the family exclaimed. We don't like Clarence all that much anyway. A man who is also sitting on Clarence's side of the family remarks. Now my dad starts his speech and he goes, this is on such short notice. I know that most of you didn't come here expecting this woman to marry me. But neither did I. I thought I didn't have another shot with Janice. But God had other plans. When I first married Janice, I was a boy. I didn't know what I wanted in life. Now that I've gotten a bit older, I'm still a boy. But now I know what I want in life as a man. The crowd chuckles at my dad's joke, and he continues his speech saying, Janice, you taught me a very important lesson, that a woman might not always feel how she looks. What I mean is, you looked beautiful every day. But what I didn't know then was that you were suffering from postpartum depression. I couldn't recognize you anymore because you were so emotionally distant. It was hard to even sleep in the same room with you. My mom looks close to crying, but she isn't. I know there's more to my dad's story though. My dad is standing in front of her, and he just keeps on going, stating, now I realize that you are my perfect mirror. My other half. We think the same, we talk the same. We even eat the same. When I would stop communicating with you, you would stop communicating with me. We both tried running away and hiding our feelings of disappointment. I cheated on you with women that could never hold a candle to you. They could never match what you meant to me then and what you mean to me now. I will never be that guy again for you and for our son. The audience is clapping as tears are falling down my mother's face. I love you, Janice. Will you please forgive me for what I've done to you in the past? Yes, I forgive you, Jeffrey. Yeah! She exclaims. Okay, well, you both love each other. So by the power vested in me, the pastor states, I pronounce you man and wife. Sir, you may kiss the bride. Our parents kiss each other, and it's happily ever after. At least for them anyway. I still got my own mountains to climb.